Ghana gets $14 billion of orders as it issues 40-year Eurobond. IMF lowers Uganda growth projection, cites oil investment delays. And Qatar Airways to buy Rwanda Air stake to gain foothold in Africa. Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us on Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwa. We'll begin with the intraday numbers. The Nigerian stock index continued its downward trend today, trading down 1.07% as at midday. The JSE index in South Africa, however, was in the green, up 1.77%. In Egypt, the EGX 30 was up 0.61%, and Kenya closed up as well on Tuesday. And Middle East markets were mixed at intraday. The Abu Dhabi index traded down 0.29%. Dubai's index was up 0.16% as blue chip developer Emma Properties shed 1.2%. In Qatar, the index was up 0.27% as Qatar International Islamic Bank gained 1.5%, and Industries Qatar added 0.6%. Saudi Arabia's benchmark index was down 0.19%. In Europe, stocks traded slightly higher in the morning, continuing a rebound seen in Asia despite the coronavirus outbreak. Investors have been trying to weigh the economic impact of the outbreak, and China's National Health Commission said that as of Tuesday night, a total of 24,324 cases have been confirmed and 490 people have died in the country. Let's hear more from Chelsea. Hello, Chelsea. Good afternoon. Well, global markets have stabilized even as the economic toll of the spread of coronavirus continues to mount. Are investors counting on central banks to step in and stabilize the economy?
That's certainly become a key focus of investors over the past several days. And past crises and past economic slowdowns, obviously central banks have played a big role in helping to mitigate that impact. And I think investors are really counting on monetary policymakers all over the world to step in now as well, especially as the widespread aspect of this outbreak and its economic impact are becoming more and more clear. What we've seen so far is action, particularly in Asia. So the Chinese central bank has taken several steps over the past couple of days, and on the one hand to calm markets, so injecting liquidity straight into the market, but also to help prop up the economy, to help encourage lending directly to distressed businesses and companies having a hard time with the shutdown. So they have been taking action. They're expected to take more action over the coming weeks and the coming months. And we have also seen some of the economies that are most exposed to China also taking action. So today, Thailand's central bank cut interest rates, and a number of other central bankers in Asia have said that they could. So Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, Korea, they've all said that they're watching this and they could be forced to cut interest rates in the coming months. This is also putting the spotlight on the Federal Reserve, and I think a lot of investors are now expecting the Federal Reserve in the next couple of months to cut interest rates as well to help counter the economic slowdown.
All right, let's look at the development in the UK. Yesterday, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that the UK will move up its plans to ban gas-powered vehicles and hybrid cars to 2035 from 2040. How difficult will reaching that target be?
It's a heavy task. 15 years probably sounds like a long time, but you have to consider that right now only 1.6% of cars registered in the UK last year in 2019 were purely electric. So there's a larger proportion of hybrid vehicles that are sold, but this ban that Boris Johnson is talking about would only allow electric vehicles. So it's a teeny tiny little slice of the current cars being sold in the market. And there's also a lot of hurdles to really get to that point where it is more widely adopted. So charging infrastructure is always a big topic, whether there are enough places places for people to charge their electric vehicles. There's going to have to be big investments in that, incentives for buyers, because right now electric vehicles are generally much more expensive than traditional vehicles. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the British government to really incentivize this for consumers. But there are going to be a lot of options over the next several years as well. So we've talked a lot about Tesla and the huge increase in sales that Tesla is seeing. So they stand to benefit from this, but also more traditional automakers, Volkswagen here in Germany, Ford, Nissan, they're all doing a lot to invest in electric fleets. So they could also benefit as well.
And back in Germany where you are, Siemens shareholders meeting today is being targeted by protesters over its involvement in a controversial Australian mine. Could Siemens pull out of this project?
So far, Siemens and its CEO, Joe Kaiser, have said no, that they're going to be sticking to this project. The protests have been going on for several weeks now. Joe Kaiser, the CEO, said he was going to look at this project and think about it, but in the end, they decided that it was more important for them to sort of remain a reliable partner for the firm building this mine in Australia. So they aren't backing down from the project. They say that they are only a very small involvement in it. So the contract is only worth about 18 million euros to begin with. But today they are obviously feeling a lot of pressure from environmental activists, and they do seem to be conceding a little bit. They said today that they're going to invest about €1 billion into looking at their supply chain and what kind of environmental impact that is having. And they're also going to create a sustainability committee that can look at the projects that it does have and decide if those are against its environmental priorities. So they've made some steps, but I think it's unlikely that this will satisfy the environmental activists.
All right, Chelsea, thank you for updating us on those. Enjoy the rest of the day.